Okay, so here we're going to do a comparison of the American Bill of Rights with the English Bill of Rights. So one of the things that you want to understand is that the American Federal Bill of Rights comes relatively late. You've had a number of states shortly after creating their state constitutions. They develop their own Bill of Rights and they model it on their traditional rights as Englishmen. And so we can very much look at the American Bill of Rights as a derivative work from these various state bills of rights, but they themselves are derivative works from the traditional iteration, the written iteration of the English Bill of Rights in 1689 after the Glorious Revolution. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to share screen one. And in screen one, I have side by side the American Bill of Rights and the English Bill of Rights. And so we're going to look at both of them. I'm going to use my highlighting tool. So let's start on the left. We had in previous class talked about the grievances listed against James II. One of the things I want you to do is to look at the commonalities between the grievances against James II in the English Bill of Rights and the grievances listed against George III in the American Declaration of Independence. So here we have the statement of the ancient rights of the Englishman. The first thing that you want to notice is there is no freedom of speech in the English Constitution. There is a freedom of speech for members of Parliament. So I'm going to take my little highlighting tool, and you'll observe that freedom of speech in Parliament is not to be questioned or imputed. That's as close as the British are going to get. They have a right of petition, and they do use this phrase, and for a redress of grievances, Parliament ought to be held frequently. So we see this language again here, Article the 1st. Oh, wait, no, that's the Constitution. Here we go. Proposing 12 amendments. Here we go. Let's go. Article the 2nd. U.S. Bill of Rights. Here we go. Okay. Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free practice thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble to protest the government for a redress of grievances. Okay, so I'm going to take my little highlight tool. I think that's my, no, this is my highlight tool. Okay, so no law respecting an establishment of religion. Now, the British don't have a freedom of religion per se. However, one of the things that they do have is, where is it? Oh, also that they have a right of petition. Here we go. So they don't have a freedom of speech. They don't have a freedom of religion. But one of the things that they do have is that the British, they have this prohibition of the monarch erecting a court for ecclesiastical causes. And so in a way, their freedom of religion kind of stems from here. The right of petition is as close as you're going to get to the freedom of speech. And then they've got a freedom of speech for debates in Parliament. Now, the other thing they actually do is they have the right of the people to assemble to petition the government for a redress of grievances. And so the redress of grievances, you see this language very similarly. I'll delete that and highlight this. You see that redress of grievances language right here in the British Bill of Rights. Now, the English do have a freedom to arms. So I'm going to do that in a different color. I'm going to make that green for both of these. Okay. That the subjects who which are Protestant may have arms suitable to their conditions as allowed by law. And so they have a right to arms, and it is specifically a right to defense. So again, here you say the right of the people. Now, this is where it's a bit interesting. In the American Constitution, the expression is keep and bear. And the reason there's a distinction is in the British system, to keep arms was an obligation of any householder. To bear arms was a nobleman's privileges. So here you have on the left, you've got the British having, okay, the right to keep arms as allowed by law versus the right to keep and bear arms. So here you have, again, mutations of what was the nobleman's privilege into the right of all men. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent in a manner to be prescribed by law. Okay, this was a very particular grievance that the colonists had suffered during the war. There aren't many parallels to it. In the British system, the keeping of the standing army in time of peace, that is more, you see that in the Constitution, limiting the life of an army to 2 years. So this really doesn't have a cognate. The right to your person to be secure from unreasonable search and seizure. That language is relatively new. You don't really have that listed, neither in the grievances nor in the actual statement of rights. So 3 and 4 are decently unique. The person shall wait. Let's see if I can make this disappear because this is blocking me. Here we go. Okay, no person shall answer for capital crime except for indictment, presentment by a grand jury except in naval forces, to be in jeopardy of life by limb, nor be made a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken without just cause or compensation. The wording of this is similar but not identical to the several grants, fines, and forfeiture before conviction. This was one of the grievances levied against James II. So I'm going to put this kind of orange here. So that most analogous to Amendment 5, but not exactly. So one of the things that you have is in the Fifth Amendment, you can't be made to incriminate yourself. This is very different from the British statute. Previously, the British and the European statute has been that silence denotes consent. Whereas in our Fifth Amendment, silence means nothing. You're neither admitting to anything nor are you guilty of anything. The next one, the Sixth Amendment, the right to a speedy trial of an impartial jury. Now I'm going to make this, I'm going to see if I can make this purple. An impartial jury. Okay. So one of the things that you have in the Statement of the Ancient Rights, jurors ought to be duly impaneled, and jurors must be brought, it's this one, that if a person is being put on trial for a capital crime, he ought to have a jury of freeholders, meaning a jury of his peers. Okay. Amendment 7, that suits in common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, a right to trial by jury should be preserved. This is not stated in the English Bill of Rights, but it is a common custom. Now, again, for a jury trial of a civil suit, $20 is roughly equivalent. Figure a dollar is about $75 in today's money, actually far closer. So let's just say $1,200, just to make the math easier. Then here you have the one for excessive bail, excessive fines, nor cruel and unusual punishment. Okay, so your Eighth Amendment right there, that pretty much is this article right here. It is cut, copied, and paste. No excessive bail, no excessive fines, no cruel and unusual punishments. Now, it doesn't define exactly what cruel and unusual is. Again, that is left to democratic processes. So then the Ninth Amendment, the enumeration of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage any others. This is to say that the rights are self-contained. So obviously this doesn't have any parallels with the British. And then same with the states' rights. Again, the English Bill of Rights are the rights inherent to the citizen vis-a-vis the British government, whereas the 10th Amendment is rights of the states vis-a-vis the federal constitution. And so that, in a nutshell, you definitely see the cross-pollination of English traditions into this American Constitution of these fundamentally English people. And so I hope this video has been useful for you. I will be posting it shortly. Thank you.